They have the most addictive songs in the world and have released only 3 regular albums, but they are still treated as the best-selling girl group in the world. Both were famous, of course, but Beckham was Victoria Adams' husband when they got married. Spice Girls are said to have overturned the definition of a girl group and laid the foundation for a modern girl group. Now, how did Spice Girls got succeeded and why they succeeded? Let's see. Let's take a look at England in the early 1990s. New Kids on the Block swept the world in the late 80s, and England, inspired by it, made a cake death. 5-member boy groups and similar groups appeared one after another, and the idea of music producers was why there were no girl groups. With that in mind, they made an audition announcement and got a 5-member girl group touch. At first, there was a member named Michelle Stevenson who was later replaced by Eamon Burnton. But the 5 girls who were chosen at the audition didn't like something from the beginning. Melanie C. said, "We each have our own personality and we felt something didn't work out when we wore the same clothes on stage. Usually new singers do what their managers tell them to do. But Spice Girls didn't. They eventually run away with their master tape." The tape that the members recorded at this time was Wannabe. Let's see why the members ran away. The members stayed under Herbert Boger for 9 months and they were going crazy because they wanted to get debut. Idols are not raised by the company from the beginning, but they first sign a contract with the company through their showcase. Spice Girls even had a clear showcase. And it's good for the people concerned to see it. But only producer Herbert said, "It's not the time yet. But let's sign a contract with me and wait a little bit before we do it." At this time they said behind, "We were not refined people and we were not managed people. Also, we didn't want to do as we were told and I wanted to write our song." So the members said, "Let's go out. We can't choose the color of the group at will and we can't do it anymore in places like this where our talents are not recognized and it's not fun." The 5 girls spent 3 months planning their escape. One day, they pretend to fight with each other, so they pretend that they don't get along, and they make a reason to escape from the accommodation they stay together. "We're going to take a break. And then we'll get a rest." They escaped and disappeared. What they brought then was Wannabe's master tape, and then the members have visited the person they chose, played Wannabe, and asked them to be our manager. When Simon Fuller said, 5 young girls came and said that please be our manager. We're not going home until you take care of it. Is it easy to see this? Simon Falls said yes with their energy and becomes their manager. And as opposed to the original producer, Herbert said to them, "Show your characters as big as possible." Simon understood the characteristics of the members well. Anyway, through this process, the 5 members of Spice Girls are completely different from other girl group styles. And Simon solved the legal problem with Herbert, the original producer, and Spice Girls did this, and Wannabe came out through several revisions. And those became a major revolution in the girl group world. Love is meaningless without friendship. This is the lyrics of this Wannabe. It could be a hint from other existing girl groups who was saddened by love. The key slogan through the Spice Girls is "Power," which is literally the power of women, said Victoria. At this time, girl groups should sing songs like this. Because these stereotypes were like stones, we broke this wall and now we're going to have to do it. The Spice Girls were a group that rejected the framework in the first place and ran out to create their own images and shouted, "Don't live manually." All of these elements combined, Spice Girls quickly became a mega girl group that swept the world. But we music fans know that. That's the most deadly problem for all the bands and groups that have achieved success. The downside of not being able to last long. The Spice Girls, which swept the world like this, also were no exception. Within a few years, their friendship cracks.